Simon, a little boy of 7, was sad because he was doing so badly in his science class. Tomorrow was a test on the solar system, and Simon was hopelessly confused. He was sitting on his balcony trying to spot the planets he was studying when something strange caught his eye. One of the stars was getting bigger and bigger until it streaked past Simon's house and landed in the nearby bushes. Simon put on his shoes and coat and ran outside to see what had crashed from the sky. What he found was unbelievable. An enormous, saucer-like machine was sitting in a crater. It was a spaceship. Looking closer, Simon spotted an unusual creature creeping out. Simon was terrified. He started to run away when the creature stopped him. "Please, do not go," it said. "I will not harm you." Simon couldn't believe his ears. He did not expect a creature from outer space to speak so well. It said that his name was Toby and that his ship was broken.
What creature is this?
Oops, my spaceship has crashed. Don't be afraid of me, my friend.
Toby needed to fix his ship. Simon ran inside his house and grabbed his father's box of tools. Toby was grateful, and the two of them made repairs to the spacecraft and talked of life on their different planets. Simon told Toby about school and how he was sure to fail tomorrow's science test about the solar system. This gave Toby an idea. He would take Simon into space and show him the solar system firsthand.
These tools are perfect. Thank you, young man.
Simon agreed. He had always wanted to go to outer space. Toby brought Simon to the cockpit of the spaceship. Simon marveled at all of the buttons and lights. They put on their seatbelts, and Toby turned the engines on. They flew up into the sky and then, with the press of a button, shot up into the blackness of space.
This is amazing! I'm going into space!
They whizzed out of the Earth's atmosphere. They were going so fast that the stars looked like streaks of light passing by. Toby pressed another button, and they came to a stop. Before them was a torrent of flames. "The ship is on fire!" Simon exclaimed, shielding his eyes. Toby laughed and steered the ship in a different direction. No, that's the sun. The sun is the center of the solar system. It's made of fire, you know. We aren't even very close. Simon did not want to get any closer. They started off to the next planet. The ship changed direction, and Simon was awed by the amazing view. In front of him were the 9 planets of the solar system. Toby told Simon to get out his pen and paper and make notes, for they were going to visit each planet close up. The first planet they went to was Mercury. It's the smallest planet in the solar system and the closest to the sun. Simon noticed that its surface was heavily cratered, and its appearance was almost similar to the Earth's moon.
This is Mercury, or as we call it on my planet,
It looks like the moon.
Toby pressed a button, and they zoomed to the next planet, Venus. Simon thought that it was very beautiful to look at, and asked if they could land, but Toby refused. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system because its atmosphere is mostly composed of carbon dioxide. In other words, it's like a big greenhouse, but with volcanoes instead of plants. You would not want to land on Venus.
This is Venus. It's almost the size of Earth. Wouldn't want to live here, though.
Sometimes I can see Venus from my house. It looks like a large, bright star.
Their next destination was the red planet Mars. Mars is similar to Earth in many ways. It has ice caps and seasons, but no recognizable life as we know. Toby told Simon that they could land here, but that Simon would have to wear a spacesuit outside of the ship, since Mars did not have any air to breathe. Simon put his suit on and excitedly waited for the door to open. The gravity on Mars is much lower than that of Earth, and when Simon took a step onto the surface, he bounced up into the air like a ball. He and Toby jumped up and down and giggled. The planet did not pull them down to the ground as fast as Earth would.
It's Mars, my friend. You don't weigh as much here. Isn't that neat?
I feel so light here. I can jump so high.
The next planet on their tour was the largest planet, Jupiter. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the Sun and is known as a gas giant, which means it's composed of mostly gas and liquid. There are many storms on Jupiter, and Jupiter has 67 known moons.
That's Jupiter. See that red swirl? They call that the eye of Jupiter. It's actually a big storm that's been happening for centuries.
Jupiter kind of reminds me of a bowling ball.
The 6th planet from the Sun is Saturn. Simon knew that this was the planet with rings around the middle. The rings are made of ice particles with bits of rock and dust, Toby said. Simon laughed when Toby told him that Saturn was mostly made of helium. Helium is the same gas we put into balloons to make them float.
Saturn is made mostly of helium.
That is one big balloon.
Toby pressed another button. It was the heater. Next up is Uranus, Toby informed him. It's very cold because it is so far from the sun. Uranus is composed of various kinds of ice.
Brr, we must be near Uranus.
It looks like a big snowball.
From Uranus, they moved on to the farthest planet from the sun, Neptune. Simon noticed that Neptune was a beautiful blue color and wondered if it had water like Earth. I'm afraid not, Toby replied. It's methane gas which makes it blue. Like Uranus, Neptune has a lot of ice and rock. But Neptune is even colder than Uranus. Unlike Uranus, Neptune has storms.
Here's Neptune. Pretty, but once again, really, really cold.
I'm learning so much.
Toby then took Simon to visit Pluto. Simon told Toby that tiny Pluto was no longer considered to be a planet by human scientists. Pluto isn't even as large as Earth's moon, Simon explained. So now it's classified as a dwarf planet. Toby smiled. I think you're ready for your test tomorrow, Simon.
I feel bad for Pluto. It's not even a planet anymore.
It doesn't have feelings, Toby.
Simon and Toby had visited every planet in the solar system, and it was time to go back. Toby brought Simon home to the balcony where Simon had first seen the ship coming towards him. They said goodbye.
Goodbye, Toby. Thank you for showing me the solar system.
Simon was very prepared for his exam the next day and got the highest score in his class. Seeing what the solar system was really about made him curious to learn more about everything. And soon he was the best boy in his school. Simon was very proud of himself and never forgot his friend Toby, who had shown him how to reach for the stars.
Thank you, sir. I do understand. Thanks to my friend Toby.